Okay, so I've recently had a couple of people ask me a few interesting questions about boxes. Because if you've got a bunch of tap handles, like a bunch of these laying around, then you may want to ship them out to people. So maybe people bought some used ones from you, or maybe it's something where you're sending it out to a friend or something like that, and you want to make sure that it gets out there safely. So with boxes, you can actually get a lot of really good options just directly on Amazon, and that's where I'll buy a lot of mine. There's a few form factors that I'll normally go for, and when I have a chance, I'll post up a little bit of an article on my site on RainTaps, linking out a couple of the different boxes that I've used in the past. This is the one that I'm using for my standard taps now. So a lot of the vintage ones that I get and stuff like that, if people are ordering them from me, then a lot of times I'll use a box that is similar to this one. There's a side loading one and there's a top loading one. This one is the top loading one. Side loading goes in from the side there. And with this size, it'll fit a lot of standard tap handles, and I'll give you a couple of examples here. So first of all, we have the Sam Adams tap handle. Let's give you a measurement there. So if you're looking at that, then it's going to be a little bit over 10 inches, and that'll fit in here quite nicely. With these ones, a lot of times when I'm looking for the boxes, I'll look for something that's a little bit less than 14 inches long and somewhere around like 3 or 4 inches for the width and height, because that'll fit a lot of the tap handles. So the flat tap handles, it'll normally fit. If you've got one that's a 3D or figure roll one, then it'll normally fit there. If you've got a slightly larger figure roll one like Goose Island or something like that, then those are going to be wider, so you'd want to get a different box. And then there's going to be some tap handles that are slightly too big for that, so you'll see there that's a little bit too big for that, but you'll get a lot of tap handles that will fit in, and sometimes if you do them a little bit to the edge, like that one, then you can get them to fit in. So that's a good universal size, is the 12 inch long, and then like the 3 or 4 inches on the width. And you'll normally want to ship those out. So a lot of times I'll use either a USPS box. It's worth noting that some of those you can get for free, but they're not great material. And then sometimes you'll want to have a corrugated cardboard one for a little bit more strength on the outside. This particular one is 14 by 6 by 4. That's just a good, fairly universal size. And one of the reasons why I say that is if you're going for this size box, then you can drop it right in, and this way you'll get a little bit of padding on the corners. So that's my general recommendation. That's for your standard tap handles. If it's something where you're dealing with something a little bit more expensive, a little bit more fragile, then you may want to do either a stronger outer box so that it's a little bit more protected, or you may want to do a slightly larger outer box so you can do a little bit more padding around it. But hopefully that helps. And as I mentioned, a lot of this stuff you can just get it directly on Amazon. You can also order from places like Uline. So Uline has a lot of shipping supplies. Sometimes you'll get better pricing if you're going on Uline. Sometimes you'll get better pricing directly on Amazon.